Yo, what up, man? So I do these videos while I'm driving because driving is such a complete and utter waste of time, and I might as well do something productive while I'm driving. And typically when I get to a destination, I got a whole bunch of stuff to do. So that's why I do these videos while I'm driving. And 15, 20, 30 minutes of driving, goes by pretty quick when you're doing videos, So anyway, how do you pick a coin to invest in? Good question, man. So this question comes from my mom, who's sitting right next to me, just doesn't want to be on the video. So look, there's it's a point system, okay? And this point system, it needs to be, it's like a totality of the points is how you kind of gauge whether or not you should get into a coin. But for example, the first thing I'll probably look at is the trading volume, right? Like if you got a coin and the trading volume is like $100,000, that's very tiny. It's minuscule compared to, Bitcoin's trading volume is like 60 billion or something like that. So if you have $100,000 trading volume on a coin, it's very small. Now, if that coin is like brand new, like it just dropped yesterday, and the trading volume is 100,000 or something like that, you might want to check back in a couple of days. Maybe you should just buy some right there so you get a cheap price if you just want to gamble. But I'd probably wait till I look at the rest of these things before I actually do something like that. So trading volume's low. It doesn't tell me much. If it's trading volume is really high, at least it tells me that there's a whole bunch of interest, right? Now, then I look at the market cap. All right, what does the market cap look like on this coin? If so Bitcoin's market cap, I believe, is like 1.2 or 1.3 trillion or 1.1 trillion, something like that. Ethereum, I think, is like 400 something billion. The entire crypto market cap is 2.7 trillion. Yeah, typically if you're like in the 30 billion or less range, right? Like you're like the top 4 coins or something like that, in the top 4 coins. And so if you have trading volume that's like 50 mil, market cap that's like 50 mil, 60 mil, 80 mil, yet to break $100 million. This is probably a coin that has some steam behind it, right? And so it's worth taking a look at that point. So we went from trading volume, market cap, right? Then price. Now market cap in relation to price. This is important because you could have a coin that is very, 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 very cheap and has a pretty good market cap, but then you see that the coin supply is like 4 quadrillion. So you got hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions, quadrillions, right? And so if this coin is in the quadrillions for supply, then it's like it's kind of like cheating, because all right, I made this coin, I gave it 10 quadrillion coin supply, right? And I hit the market at a millionth of a penny. That would put the market cap already in the millions, even though I'm at a millionth of a penny, right? So it's kind of like cheating. So you want to look at market cap in relation to circulating supply of coins. And this is how we get into the tokenomics of things, right? Okay, so I look at that, and then I look and see, like, okay, is this coin pre-mined? What does pre-mine mean? Pre-mine means that I don't have a mining process, or maybe I do, but I could have skipped it early on when I first released the coin. And in the programming for the coin, when I fabricated the coin from programming it, I said, hey, programming coin, make it so that there's no mining process and I just have a complete supply of all the coins and I can sell it to whom I wish. Or, hey, programming software, I want to make this coin and I want to give myself half the supply and I want a mining process for the rest of it, right? That would be considered all pre-mining, where before it's released, before anybody else has a shot at it, I pre-mined the coins for myself, right? There is no mining or there is no pre-mine. There's only the mining process, which, like Bitcoin, the only way to get Bitcoin was to actually mine it. And the reason why Satoshi Nakamoto has so many Bitcoin is because he was one of the very few people, or the first person absolutely, to mine Bitcoin early on. So he has 1 million coins, He's worth about $68 billion today. So, tokenomics, right? We went from trading volume to market cap to coin supply to how do these coins come into existence. All that is relevant because you want to determine whether or not this project is going to be a rug pull. It's where it pulls the rug out from under you, meaning that, you invested so much into this project, but the creators never had any longevity, strategy or plans for a long-term development of this project. You know what I mean? And that's, like Squid Game, Yeah, Squid Game was dope. Could have made a lot of money in Squid Game if it was a legit project. But because it wasn't, we got the rug pulled out from under us, and everybody lost money, and the creators were very rich. So that's why you're looking at these things, because you're trying to build a picture here. So let's say, we got low trading volume, low price, high coin supply. It is made in the last 3 weeks. It's like 3 weeks old, a month old, 2 months old, 5 months old, a year old. And you're trying to figure out what, should I get into this coin? The next thing you want to look at is, what does this coin do? Look, any coin in 2021 that's coming out that's saying, hey, you can send this coin from one person to another for cheap, it's dead in the water, my friend. It's like there's no use case scenario for that. There's already way more reputable, way more secure coins, that are worth getting into, that perform that same function, to a higher degree. There's already a whole bunch of that. And almost every coin is doing that. So, and I know, the reason why I'm saying that is because that's like the number one thing people say for their coin as to why you should buy their coin over Bitcoin, right? It's like the number one thing people go to do, to say is that we're cheaper, we're faster than Bitcoin. We can do more transactions per second than Bitcoin. And, when you look at a lot of articles nowadays that are now giving altcoins, which are alternative coins to Bitcoin, which are now giving altcoins shine, the number one thing they say is more transactions per second. And what I want to stress to you that with Bitcoin, it's not about the transactions per second, it's about the security. Right now, with our traditional banking system, we wait 3 days at the minimum, sometimes it's 10 days, to get, confirmed transactions. Like the settled up transactions where the ledger from this bank who's paying the ledger on this bank, they meet they hash that out and get settled up, and the actual money exchanges. For, when you see it, it's just electronic. What's 6 hours compared to like 3 days or 10 days? You know what I mean? Like, it's still ridiculously fast for Bitcoin. And the reason why it's like 6 hours is because, the reason why it's 6 hours is because it's actually confirming whether or not you had those funds across many other computers, right? Oh, I don't want to make this a Bitcoin video. I'm just saying, okay? If all it is saying, all it's saying is, hey, we transact better, faster, more transactions per second, like dead in the water. Forget that coin. Now, if they say something like, yo, we need to save the whales and buy this coin and you're going to save 20 whales this year. Like, nah, bro, stop. You don't need a coin to save whales or clean up the ocean or feed orphans. You don't need a coin for that. Like you could raise funds using Bitcoin or Ethereum or USD. Like, you don't need, stop. That's done. Okay. Now, So we're done with transactions. Just transacting is just not even worth it. You know, the whole charity pitch, that's also something we're not doing that. Now, if it's got like a really good use case scenario, like for example, like VeChain. VeChain is a coin that gives you access to an immutable ledger where you can record the route of items on a supply chain. You know, just like you scan items, you know, across a barcode at Target, this would scan items using RFID chips and then input that information onto the blockchain in a way that's immutable and, you know, secure, verifiable. That's a great use case. It's not transacting, okay? It's not a charity thing, okay? It's like legitimately solving a problem. The other like red flag thing nowadays, DeFi. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that DeFi is a red flag thing. I'm saying that a lot of coins are coming out saying that they're DeFi. They're going to disrupt traditional finance. They're offering DeFi platforms. You can build, you could stake, you could mint NFTs. Like literally everybody is saying this. Bro, there's already plenty of more reputable projects with better developers that are much further along, have a much more secure investment than whatever coin is shilling their DeFi platform right now. Don't fall for it. Okay, I'm saying don't fall for it. What's the other thing? Okay, so we're going to the website, right? And the website is giving us these reasons. I just said there's a reason for why this coin exists. Why is that? Is it a good reason? Is it not? Look at the website. Is the website janky? Does it look like it was made, you know, in 1998 before the internet was good? You know what I mean? Like, does it look like something where if you were on AOL pulling it up, you'd be like, whoa, wait, this doesn't look right. You know, that's a red flag. And no, we don't do those. You know what I'm saying? Or like, I wouldn't say we don't do those, but that's a ding, right? So we're doing a point system where we're looking at all these points, and we're gonna accumulate these points and see what the total score is. You know, if the website looks janky, you know, that's like a negative point, or like, let's say it's a point system out of 3, right? Good, bad, good, like not so good, and then bad, right? That would be a bad. That would be for sure a bad thing, is the website thing, right? But if they have a great website, awesome. If they have a video, even better. But then that also adds another category to our point system, because if the video is just super vague, like, all right, imagine if you were like, okay, Teddy, tell me how to, you know, pick the best coin. And I was like, all right, well, you know, you want to pick a coin that's like really cool and good and has the potential to make you a lot of money. And the reason why it exists is to solve a problem in the space, because, you know, there's just problems that people have that could be solved with blockchain technology. And it's really good that this coin can do that. I said a whole bunch of stuff. I didn't say anything, right? And there's a lot of videos that are out there that are like that just, you know, go on for like a minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, don't say anything, right? And they throw around a bunch of this terminology, and if you're not familiar, you know, then you might fall for it. You'd be like, oh yeah, that sounds like some smart stuff. I'm not really following it. There's nothing to follow there. It's whack. It's trash. So that's, you know, give that a 1 if it's a bad video. If it's a great video where at the end of it you're like, yo, I just got educated, I'm familiar with the project now, I see what the goals are, what the you know, purpose of the project is, great, man, that's a great video. Boom. If they're a reputable project, you know, reputable company, reputable people, they're going to want to put together a video that makes sense, that you know, investors, you know, token holders can look at and point to and hold them accountable on, even if it's just barking at them on Twitter. Which brings me to my next thing, social media, okay? So you want to look at projects through all that, right? So what do we start with first? First, we did market cap, and then, we did trading volume, then market cap, then coin supply, then is it pre-mined or mined, then purpose of the thing, website, video, what else, man? Oh yeah, now we're at social media, right? All right, social media, this is gonna give you the best indicator for the community that they're building. right? We're living in an age of communities, okay? It's communities. What's a community online? It's basically people who want to share information, whether it's anecdotal or something empirical, but they're sharing information with each other, and they're doing so in a way that, or they're doing so centered around a common interest, right? And that's what's building community. These people might have different backgrounds, different racial makeups, different, political ideologies, but maybe they all like The Simpsons. And so, they all get together and they don't talk about any of the stuff they disagree with. They're only talking about the stuff they agree with. And so now that's the Simpsons community, or whatever community you want. I'm just using that as an example. So when you, typically, man, these coins have communities, and communities sometimes that are very jingoistic about the coins. You don't want to be wrapped up too much in the hyperbole. You want to get to the meat and potatoes of what the coin is offering the community. Like, if you're seeing how the community is constantly reiterating the best use cases of the coin, and that makes sense, and that's like, whoa, what you just said there, yeah, I can see how that is gonna disrupt whatever industry or bring something new to the crypto space, whatever, right? Whatever it is. But you see the community. I'm looking at the Twitter mainly. First thing you want to do, look at Twitter. What does Twitter say? Look at the hashtag and the $ cash tag of the coin, right? So if it's like BNB, Binance coin, right? I'll go to hashtag BNB on Twitter, look it up, right? See what people are saying about it. It's got 10,000 tweets. It's got 300 tweets in the last hour. It's got whatever. Man, sounds like a lot of people are really on this coin. If it's, 0 tweets in the last 5 days, nobody's on this coin. So it's not a coin to get into, right? You don't want to do that. If you're looking at it and there's maybe like 20 tweets total, not a whole lot of community. After Twitter, let's say Twitter looks good, right? But you're like, it's not really doing well on the other scores. Man, go look at the Telegram group if they got one. Go look at the Discord group if they got one, right? And these things will give you an idea as to how much community there is. And when you find those things, there's platforms, whether it's the Twitter, whether it's the Telegram group, Discord. When you find these things and you go into them, man, really read what people are saying. If you have a whole bunch of people that are like, yo, I can't sell my coin, Squid Game, then it'd probably be like a bad reason for you to buy that, because you can't. Everybody's saying they can't sell it. If you were, if you're looking at these groups, right, and you have long stretches of holders who are typing questions, and nobody's getting back to them for weeks, for months, for days even, then there's not a lot of communication going on. And that seems like the project developers don't really care about the token holders. They don't really care about the community or building it or whatever. And that, it's not a good sign. That's really not a good sign for anybody. You want developers who care about the people who've contributed, like real money, not this fake coin stuff that they're pumping, real Ethereum or Bitcoin or whatever they bought that coin with. They're contributing that to the project. Bless you. You all right? Bless you. It's all good. They're contributing all that to the project. You should care about these people. Like, imagine you had, 10,000 people that gave you, $100 to $10,000 to $100,000, right? Like, you'd be like, yo, I love y'all. Like, what do y'all need? Y'all need me to babysit your kids? Like, I got you. You know what I mean? Drop the kids off. It's cool, man. I'll watch your dog for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would love that. You would love that, right? And so if they're not getting back to those people, like, that's a big red flag. They don't care. They don't care about the community. They're just focused on money. And if they're just focused on money, then they're probably going to rug pull at some point. Bless you. All right, so now we looked at all that other stuff, plus social media, okay? Plus social media. And now after that, I think the last thing you want to look at, I think that's it. Social media. Yeah, oh no, look at the chart. What does the chart tell you? Some people would look at chart first. Like, if you really know how to read charts, look at charts first, right? All right, look, with altcoins, Bless you. You all right?
Yeah.
Yeah? You okay?
Once I start sneezing.
It just keeps going, huh? I don't think I got any water in here.
No, I don't need one.
So look at the chart, right? Typically with altcoins, especially from the ICO phase, so 2016, 2017, 2018, and some of 2019, if your coin dropped, like in terms of like was released to the public in that period of time, it probably went through some kind of ICO. With ICOs, what would happen is, there would be a pre-ICO sale where investors who typically had a lot of money, like 100 grand at least, or 50 or 30, just to get in the door. But pre-ICO sales, pre-ICO, all that stuff, right? But they would get access to the coins early. They would buy, right, and buy large numbers of coins. That would help fund the project. Then they open it up to regular investors, to do an ICO, which is initial coin offering. So that's basically like the very first sale of the coin before it goes to an exchange. And that's important for coins to do that, because once it hits the exchange, if there's no volume of coins on the exchange, then the trading, it just looks all crazy and weird, or it just tanks and just drops. Now, with coins that got released during the ICO craze of those years that I mentioned, 2016 to 2019, what would happen is the coins hit the exchange and then they shoot up in price because ICOs weren't available legally anyway to people in the US. So, if you did get your hands on it and you were outside of the US, and the US is the biggest market in crypto, when it would hit the exchange, the US investors would now clamor for buying it, right? And so it hits the exchange, opening bell, first day, first 3 days, first week, it probably shoots up in price, right? But because you have so many people that got in the pre-ICO, pre-ICO and all that, they're like, dude, I could care less about this coin. I'm out, and I'm getting rich right now. Look at it, boom, and they just sell and they dump a lot of coins, and they typically all sell at the same time because they see each other selling, and they're like, yeah, let's take some profits, and it tanks the price down. So you're looking at the chart, and I think you're looking at it this way. So you're looking at the chart, and it usually starts out like a little flat, and then whoop, there's this big spike, and then it comes down very early on in the chart. So if you go to coinmarketcap.com and you look at the coin and you hit the time frame that says all, ALL, all right? You hit that time frame, it's going to bring up the entire chart of the entire time it's been trading. And in the beginning, it'll be like a little flat in the very, very beginning, and then whoop, pops up, right? And then comes back down because, people sold. That's what that is. And so I'm saying that because you really got to take that image of a spike and come down with a grain of salt, right? It could look like a pump and dump, and maybe it was, I don't know, but it's important to know that that's why a lot of that happened when you see it, right? Now you want to look at the all-time high. If we had just reached an all-time high, like a previous all-time high, we just broke it, it's bullish. That means that probably it might be a good time to get in. Maybe be a good time to get in. If you're looking at it and it's at the bottom and it hasn't reached its all-time high yet, you're buying cheap if you can hodl for long enough, right? And if you are buying a coin that is not yet to its all-time high and not flat anymore but in the middle, then be careful, because you don't really know what's going to happen to that coin. But maybe it's on its way up because it was already at a lull, right? There's three parts to a market cycle: breakout, breakdown, flatline. BK Crypto Trader, right? And so, if you break out, wait for the breakdown. When it breaks down, wait for the flatline. You know what I mean? And when it's in a flatline, that's when you really want to buy, because the next thing is a breakout. And so you want to look at those things. Now, if it broke out to all-time high, came back down, and then was squiggly sideways like this, flat, broke out again, and then came right back down to its lows, you know what I mean? The little lull flat line that it was at before. Oof, be careful now, be careful. Maybe you get a good coin at a good deal, but maybe you don't. Maybe you get a bad coin for a good deal. And so, that's the last thing you want to look at, chart. That'll help you determine whether or not you want to get in on the coin. Yeah, man, that's, it's my 2 cents. Do you have any questions, Mom? Do you have any questions?
I forgot. I was gonna ask you.
Oh, man, I told you interrupt me if you have a question. Forgot?
Yeah.
All right, I'll do another video if she remembers. But yeah, man, that's my 2 cents. That's how you pick a coin. I'm gonna do another video called how to pick a garbage coin. And remember, this is an accumulative score, okay? You cannot use any one single stat of these as a determining factor for getting into it. There's coins that have tremendous community and are absolute garbage in every other category. I wouldn't recommend getting into it, okay? But maybe I'll leave that for my S coin, my crap coin video, okay? But yeah, man, that's my 2 cents. Love you. Hope everything works out. Hope this was helpful for you. Peace.